Okay, today this is the day two 5.4 point slope form lesson that you guys missed today, Monday, because of the snow afternoon. So here we go with this. There are two things that we're going to accomplish today. We're going to be able to write this in point slope form from a graph, and we're going to be able to take point slope form from 2 points. I'm going to try to demonstrate what makes this better than the other way. So first thing, we're supposed to write this in point slope form. So write the equation line in point slope form. Now, there are a couple of different things I'd like for you guys to do. When I see point slope form, I start thinking of the formula y minus y1 is equal to m parentheses x minus x1. That's a connection I need to make. The next connection I need to make is, for me to be able to do this, I need a point and I need the slope, which is m. All right. So let's start off with the first one. Well, there's points. Well, there's two with points listed right here. So I'm going to write both of them down. I'm going to only need to do one of those two, but I'm going to write them both down just so that I can choose at the end. The slope. The slope's not given to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my triangle, and I'm going to count the squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 squares up and 1, 2, 3, 3 squares to the right. That means the slope is 7/3. Okay, well, this is all that I need. So now I have 2 points. I only needed really one, and I have the slope. So now I'm going to replace. I'm going to choose to do, in this case, I'm going to choose to use this one as my point. So y and the opposite of y, which is -4, slope 7/3. Then x and the opposite of the x-coordinate, which is -1. So there's that particular equation written out that way. Now, if I didn't want to use this point, but wanted to use this one, okay, well, I want to go with y and the opposite of y1, which is y1 was -3, so it's +3. 7/3 times x and the opposite of that, 2. Both these two equations are good equations. They're great answers. Okay, now they also tell us the same line, which is really important for us to remember. Um, let's try another one. Okay, point slope form. Again, so y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. And in this case, I still need a point, and I need the slope, which is m. Okay, the point. Well, my eyes are drawn to this one first, so I'm going to just use that one, 1, 1. The slope, well, I'm going to now, just because I want to be different here, I'm going to go this way down with my triangle. So I go down 1, 2, 3, so -3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So slope of this is -3/4. Now I'm going to put this all back together again. So I want the opposite of the y value. Well, the y value is 1, so it's -1. My slope, -3/4, x and the x of that, which is -1. So there's my equation. I'm all done with this. One last example. Again, point slope form. Y minus y1 is equal to m x minus x1. Here's a point, which I need. And that looks like that's 4, 1. I got to come up with the slope. Well, for that, I need to find another good coordinate. Okay, so there's this one. And last time I went down and over, so this time I'll go up and over. 1, 2, 3. 3 up, and 1, 2, 3, 4. But I moved left, so it's negative. So it's a negative angle. Okay, same thing. Y, the opposite of this, which is -1, is equal to -3/4 x, and the opposite of this, -4. All right, once we get these two things, once we get the point and once we get the point and the slope, then to put it into this equation is really pretty straightforward, that's kind of why I like to do it. I don't like to do it if it's more challenging. If I can keep it easy, that's best for me. Okay, last thing that I have to do. Now, in this case, it's not being specific, it's just asking for the equation of line. Well, unfortunately, that gives me a choice. I can use slope-intercept form, or if I wanted to, I could use point slope form. Well, I got to tell you that anytime I'm given 2 points like this, I believe it's easiest to start in this form no matter which way I want to do it. If I have to write it into slope-intercept form, then I put it in point slope form and then I convert it into slope-intercept form. Figuring out the b really confuses me. Now, one thing that I have to do here is no matter which form I use, I have to figure out the slope. That's going to be the first thing I do no matter what. And because I don't have a graph and I can't just count the squares, I don't actually have to do the math to come up with this. So y2, let's say these are my 2's and these are my 1's. So it's 4 minus -3 over 1 minus -2. Now, when I start to do this, I get a little apprehensive. I always want to make sure I put the numbers in the right place. I feel like if I have the numbers in the right place, I'm gonna be able to do the math correctly. So I check 1, 4, 1, 4, -2, -3, -2, -3. Okay, they're all done. And now let's add the opposite. I end up with 7/3 for my slope. Now, I know I want to show you both ways here. So in this case, let's say I choose, since these are my 1's, I'm going to put this into point slope form. And so I want the opposite of y1, so that's +3. The slope and the opposite x1. There you go. Now let's say I wanted to take this, and let's say I want to use the other one, okay? So it's be y minus 4 is equal to 7/3 x minus 1. Piece of cake, okay? Now I really like to do it this way. That's kind of my favorite way to do these problems because I think I can get my answers pretty quickly and they work out really well. Now, what happens if I try to put this into slope-intercept form right away? So there's the form. I figured out what the slope is, and I have two choices here. Let's keep it easy. Let's keep the positive. So I get 4 is equal to 7/3 plus b. I got to subtract 7/3 from both sides. Well, when I subtract, I don't want a whole number in a fraction, so I'm going to change this whole number. I'm going to multiply both sides both the top and bottom by 4. So I end up with 12/3. And then when I subtract those, I end up with 5/3 as b. Y is equal to 7/3 x plus 5/3. And I argue that I think you'll get these done faster and more correctly than you will these. So that's why I stay with right here. I use this format all of the time if I can. That's the way that works out easiest for me. So I'm going to use that way all the time. Okay, now let's try another one. Here we go. We have those 2 points. Right? The first step is always going to be find the slope. Okay, so I've started off. 1s, 2s. I think of it as first one I see, second one I see. So that's why it's the 2s. 4 minus -2. 2 minus -1. 6/3, which is 2. Now, I'm interested in getting this one done as quickly as I can. I use these as my 1s, so let's just use these as my 1s for this formula. Okay, so I got y plus 2 is equal to 2x plus 1. There you go. That's all she wrote. That's all it took. Now, I really like to use these problems. These are ones that I like. And let's see here. I think that's all I got for you. Yep, that's all I got for you today. Okay, that was today, Monday, the 25th of January's assignment.